Well, welcome back into PTN Extra for this week. Good to be with you, Alyssa Orange, alongside Courtney Mims and Mike Irwin. And guys, we got a lot to talk about with basketball because guess what? Calipari's got a couple players on the roster now. Very exciting. Since the last time we joined you, he's added two guys to the roster in Zvonimir Ivicic and Carter Knox. It's something that continues to unfold very quietly, but I feel like very calculatedly as well. Mike, I want to get your thoughts, though, on just the two additions to the Arkansas basketball team.
Well, I mean, it's a good start. I mean, okay, so there's 13, that's 11, that's 10. You know, it's a long way to go.
Right.
Arkansas just hadn't been in this position before where you start with nothing. I mean, that's scary when you think about it. So it's good you got Cal and some money to try and play with on that.
It's scary when you think about it, but it's actually not scary in the current environment of college basketball. There's so many coaches that when we've talked to them over the past couple of weeks who have told me that said this is just how it is, right? He may be starting from nothing, but most of us are starting with 3 or 4 guys on the roster. So really it's not kind of a scary thing when you look at it through the lenses of college basketball is changing. With the addition of transfer portal and NIL, it's a different ballgame now.
You know, I'm curious to get your thoughts because you did get to talk to some coaches who have been in it, who have seen it, experienced it. It's different, but there are ways. Arkansas has been doing this for a while. They just had guys on the roster that made it look full. But Musselman was out there looking in the transfer portal to see the best options he had to bring in and then just, you know, send other guys along their way. And so it's almost like, yeah, this roster has names on it, but that doesn't mean they're going to be here. It just made people maybe feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I think it gives the fans a sense of security. That's what all the coaches
Right.
said. They're like, really just having a couple of names on your roster gives the fans a sense of, oh, there are guys on the team. We do have guys returning. But really, like you said, if you look all around the country at people's rosters, you'll notice that, well, hey, they may have 2 or 3 guys, but Duke's in a similar position.
They're not starting with 0.
They're not starting with 0. We're just saying a similar position. I mean, I've talked to D1 coaches that say 2 or 0. I mean, come on. It's really, you're talking about a minuscule difference of what you have to go out and get. And then you're competing against the Coach Cals of the world who are going, hey, I know who I want, and they're trying to have to combat that with what they have, what resources they have, and what they're looking for.
Yeah, and if you look at it, it's not like there's nobody left out there, that everyone's decided to go somewhere and Cal's just over here got, you know, slim pickings. There is quality top 100 ESPN basketball players out there coming in from high school as well as in the transfer portal that he's got to look at. But Mike, I want to get your opinion on Ivicic and what you think he brings to the table.
Well, I mean, just looked at the video. He really is numbers. If you just look at numbers, it wasn't all that impressive because he didn't play a lot. I think he was ineligible for a good portion of the season.
January 20th, he was cleared by the NCAA to play.
So that's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you look at the video, as a shot blocker, he can trigger the ball downfield, he can shoot, he can score around the basket. I mean, having a 7'2" guy, that's impressive. And I expect them to add 2 more, at least 2 more big guys. So that was the problem last year. I think unless people are way off, they're going to end up with somewhere around a top 5 class. We've seen 2 top 5 classes under Musselman. The real issue is how does it come together? And that's what I'm interested in. All these Kentucky fans who won't leave this alone, and I guess they're just upset because he came here, they're all predicting, well, wait till you get this guy and then they don't play him. Okay, I want to see what they're talking about. You know, you're going to recruit some guy and then he sits on the bench. I seriously doubt it. So want to watch how how Calipari, I'm so used to saying that, how Calipari coaches these guys and what's his strategy and who's in his doghouse and who's not in his doghouse and why not. Those are the interesting things to me.
I don't know, does Calipari have a doghouse?
I
Well,
don't
maybe.
know.
Must did, but we'll see. You know, Carter Knox said in an interview I was reading today that the reason he decided to play for Coach Cal was the pros that he develops and puts into the league. I mean, you just have to watch the NBA postseason right now to find guys who played for Cal, right? It's not very hard. They're there. There's a lot of them. And that's what he wants. There are guys who want to play for Cal, and we knew that. And he's excited to come to Arkansas and bring that winning culture. That's what Cal is selling. It's I can make you a professional, and I can make you a better basketball player for a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, and he's a player's coach. Everyone's going to hate me for saying that, but he really is, and he knows that. That doesn't mean because you're a player's coach, you don't care about winning. You don't care about winning games. You don't care about winning championships. No, he wants to win. Those guys want to win, but he is going to focus on the players, and they know that. They love that about him. If you talk to any former player of his, they will say one thing: he cared about me so much. He cared about my success. He cared about putting me in the NBA. He cared about putting me playing professionally after college. And so he is a player's coach. And Alyssa, you hit the nail on the head. That's why people want to play for him. It's not about just playing for Arkansas. It's not about playing for the Razorbacks. It's about playing for Coach Cal. And he carries his own brand, which is huge for the Razorbacks. They get to benefit off of that, but he carries his own brand. And that's why when you look at players that are looking to come here, they want to play for Coach Cal.
Courtney's our stats girl. She's our name girl. She's got it all written down on her pretty little paper. Let's talk about guys who could possibly be the next couple dominoes to fall.
The one I'm keeping an eye on, Boogie Fland. He's taking a visit this evening. That's what reports are saying. He will be here tonight, the number 10 player in the country. According to Rivals, the number 1 point guard in the country of his class. So he's a guy, a 5-star guy, that joining him up with Carter Knox. I like that. I like to see if that domino falls. We'd like to see that. Another guy I'm keeping an eye on is FAU's John L. Davis. 18.2 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, 2.9 assists. He's the second-ranked portal player right now, according to 24/7 Sports. It looks like he could come to Arkansas, but we've heard through the grapevine that there could be a bidding war going on for him between us and Kentucky.
Interesting.
So that could be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. Billy Richmond's a guy we're keeping an eye on, and also that Tennessee center transfer, Jonas Adu. He's looking at Arkansas in the mix with Baylor, UNC, Alabama. He's a guy that brings you that size, Mike, that you were talking about. But I don't know how I feel about him. He's a Durham native. You saw UNC in the mix there.
We'll see what happens. You know, another guy that they've added to their coaching staff is Kenny Payne. What do you think about bringing Kenny Payne back as an assistant coach?
Well, I mean, everybody says he's the guy that was with Cal when he had his most success. So that should excite Razorback fans. I think I read where he's really a good coach of big men, does a good job with the big guys. So if they bring in, they've already got one, if they bring in 2 more, I mean, Razorback fans were just sitting around last year. We need more size. We need more size. Well, maybe you'll get that. But again, I think he's a really good recruiter, and I think the players like him. And those people who say, well, he failed as a head coach, we're not talking about being a head coach here. We're talking about being an assistant coach.
There are a lot of really, really good assistant coaches in any sport who necessarily didn't make it as head coaches, but they're still good coaches, Courtney.
Absolutely. Kenny Payne's a guy that you look at the success he had with Coach Cal. You've got a winning team right there. He didn't have to be the head coach to have success, to develop these guys. And he did that with Coach Cal. I think they're getting the band back together, so to speak. We'll see who else he announces on the staff, but you can't hate a guy like Kenny Payne who brings all of that experience. And take out the lack of success he had at Louisville. He was still a head coach and brings that experience. So that's what I like as well about that. Even though it didn't end well, you still have a guy on staff that brings head coaching experience.
A word you guys keep saying is development. And now I want to see come November, late October, what the development of this men's basketball team and then from October to March looks like under this new coaching staff, because I feel like it's something we've been lacking for a really long time.
What I'm looking forward to is if he opens practice up to us for a little bit, compare it to those must practices and see the difference in style of the 2 coaches. Because I don't think you're going to see the same style. I think he's going to be more laid back. I'm talking about Coach Cal.
Yeah, we're about to see. All right, that's a good conversation. So, guys, there's going to be a basketball team come 2024-25. Don't hit the panic button. All right, it's going to be a fun one, too. Coming up next, after the break, we sit down with the Metcalf brothers, talk about what it's like growing up in a football family and their connection with Coach Cal. How about that?
Whoa!
Wow, that's a surprise. Join us after this. Welcome back to PTN Extra. Alyssa Orange here. Have some special guests excited to be over here at football, hanging out with TJ and Tevis Metcalf. Guys, super excited to catch up with you brothers on the team, and we're going to get to that first. But let's talk about the spring and how the spring went. First and foremost, TJ, we all saw the hit. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, people thought I had a concussion, but I'm a little tougher than that. So, a little sore neck, but it's all good.
What'd you think when you saw your brother make a hit like that?
I was like, man, he tripping. Yeah, I'm used to seeing him do stuff like that, so I was just like, man, he need to go and get up.
So how did spring go for you overall, TJ?
For me, I feel like it went tremendous. I feel like I had a great spring. Really, January to where I'm at now, I feel like I've grown a lot. See myself making a lot of plays this year. So.
That's great. And then for you, first spring on the college level, what was it like?
So I came in, like, Coach Winston told me he didn't know what position he was going to put me in, corner or nickel. So I was like, I got to get ready to play some nickel. So we get into the meet. He told me he want me to go with the nickels. So I've never played nickel before. So I get out there. At first, it was just a little struggle because I had to, it's way faster. I got to learn more stuff. But overall, it was a good experience for me because I learned more about the game. Mm-hmm. So I had two seniors in front of me. So them being right there to guide me too. So they'll help me in the means. Yeah. But after a few weeks though, it started clicking. So. Yeah.
You also have a brother who's been here, who went through it. So you had a guy to lean on of okay, this was a little harder, or what should I expect about this too? What was that like having him here?
Before I even got here, he was showing me stuff on film and just teaching me. We was out in the backyard one day with some chairs and stuff. Had the O-line, receivers. He was just walking me through the calls. So it was really big for me. So.
Has that been going on your whole lives? Just kind of helping each other out, walking it through? I mean, you get to experience all on your own by yourself, and then you've got to help Tevis along the way. I mean, growing up, what was that dynamic like?
Really, I give a credit to my dad. The trash cans and stuff. He kind of taught us that. Really, every time we go out to eat, he'll put the salt in the cups and all that. Teach us little stuff. But I mean, really, I just did that so we could get a better view. Cause I don't just want to tell him the plays and stuff, and he don't really get a visual of what's going on. So I did that, put objects out so we just get a feel of where people are supposed to be and at their positions and what leverage to play on different type of routes and how receivers are lined up and stuff like that.
Yeah, Tevis, how competitive was your household growing up?
It was pretty competitive. People always asking us who's faster, who's better.
Yeah.
But they didn't even understand we had two different positions, so hard for me to say. But it was a big help for me growing up. Seeing him when he first started getting his offers. At the time, I wasn't even getting no playing time for it. I was playing running back, and then when I transferred schools, I moved to DB, and he was already playing a little DB. So when he got his offers, I really just locked in, and then that's how he helped me, want to go play college for real.
So who is faster?
So
me. We'll grab my cleats.
When you were looking, Tevis, what was it about Arkansas for you? I looked and I saw that your mom posted on 4/22/23, you officially committed to Arkansas. That was a year and 2 days ago.
All right, so what it was for me was coming in, Arkansas was either my first or second offer. So that was pretty big for me and my recruitment. And with TJ committing, that also helped me want to narrow down my decisions. Mm-hmm. And them being in the SEC and them also calling me, texting me, wanting me the most, that really helped me out. So.
And TJ, for you, I mean, you I'm not saying that Tevis came here because you were here, but it had a big influence for you. For you, what was it about Arkansas?
For me, I just saw the situation, that the secondary was going through. So I felt and even with the coach that was here before, Coach Wilson, they really wanted me here. Mm-hmm. And I felt every visit that I came on was home. And then, like I said, with the situation going on, I feel like I could come in, make a big impact early as a freshman. And I played, every game, but I just, feel like that was the biggest thing for me, this place feeling like home. And I didn't want to be anywhere else and, going to, play early.
Yeah. Well, last name Metcalf. I'm sure some people are scratching their heads that sounds familiar, and it should. You guys come from a football family, and a lot of your football family played at Ole Miss. You've got a lot of roots there too. What was that like, trying to decide if you were going to follow the family legacy to Ole Miss or come to Arkansas?
Really, it was hard, not going to Ole Miss, where my dad and my cousin played and my other cousin and all that. But I just had to make the best decision for me and my family, to come here. And, make our own little legacy because, you know, DK got his and, you know, he's doing his thing. He did it the right way. And I just wanted to, you know, start something off new, you know, still in the SEC, but, you know, at a different school, you know, at the place that felt like home for me.
Yeah, and you're trying to, guys, make your own mark here at Arkansas.
Yes, ma'am.
So looking ahead, what are you most excited about for the fall and trying to make a mark there once the season gets started and solidify some spots for you guys? Tevis, you can answer first.
For me, my biggest thing I'm excited about is having experiencing my first fall as a Razorback, and basically just trying to move up in the depth, trying to solidify a spot that I know I'm gonna play, and like on special team as well as defense too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, for this fall coming up, I just, you know, the coaches see that, you know, I can be an impact player. So I just want to, you know, prove them right and also prove, you know, to everybody that, you know, our last name is us. Like, we can play this game and, you know, we're good enough, you know, just as good as anybody in the country, you know, at this high level. So you just want to go out there and, you know, get the fans a show.
Now, Tevis, you're going to have to wait 2 years to play in Oxford, but you got to as a freshman. What was that like walking out at Vaught Hemingway Stadium?
You know, it was a great experience. You know, I always wanted to, you know, play in that stadium. You know, I was born in Oxford, so before the game, I had tears in my eyes. Like, you know, it was an unbelievable experience. You know, we didn't come out with the win, but, you know, just playing there, it was amazing for me.
Really fun. Well, I'm going to talk a little basketball with you guys because your dad texted me a photo when you guys were kids with John Calipari, which is wild, and here he is at Arkansas. When did you first meet him?
We met him at a basketball camp. My dad used to call my dad to go and coach. I think it was like 2 years in a row. And, you know, every year we went and he invited us to go play at this camp. So, you know, we got to meet him. He was a very cool dude, down to earth. You know,
So what'd you think? John Calipari coming to Arkansas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
cool.
Like, you know, it's a small world. So him coming here, I think he's gonna, you know, get us a couple championships too.
Okay, all right. Have you seen him around yet? I mean, he's a busy man. He got a busy schedule right now. But when you see him, are you gonna be like, "Hey, coach, remember me?"
Yeah, I'm gonna say that for sure. Yeah.
Well, awesome, guys. Thanks so much for the time. Really excited to watch you guys continue to play, and it'll be fun for sure. All right. Thanks so much. That's gonna do it for PTN Extra.